Good day to all of you. Myself, Dr. Arvind Sharma, Associate Professor in Physics, Government Dongar College, Bikaner. Today we are going to discuss about the topic Proof of Uncertainty Principle for One-Dimensional Wave Packet. How it can be proved? The uncertainty in position along x-axis by analogy with the standard deviation of statistics. Standard deviation of statistics may be defined as delta x equal to under root expectation value of x minus expectation value of x whole square and expectation value of this square and under root of this, where expectation value of x is the expectation value of x, the probability of finding the particle between coordinates x and x plus dx is psi star psi dx, so that expectation or average value of x for normalized wave function. For normalized wave function, denominator is 1, so expectation value of x equal to integral psi star x psi dx. Similarly, the uncertainty in momentum is represented as delta p equal to under root expectation value of p minus expectation value of p whole square whole expectation value, where expectation value of p is momentum expectation value and defined as expectation value of p equal to integral psi star minus iota h cross delta upon delta x psi dx. This term is operator of px. This is operator of px. Let us choose the normalized wave function such that it is initially centered at x = 0 and has 0 momentum. That means expectation value of x and p are equal to 0. Actually, we are choosing the normalized wave function such that initially it is centered at x = 0 and average momentum is equal to 0. To proceed further, consider the integral iota h cross integral psi star d upon dx x psi dx. Okay, integrating by parts, you can easily do it. Integral by parts, iota h cross integral psi star d upon dx x psi dx बराबर iota h bar psi x psi star minus infinity to infinity minus iota h cross integral minus infinity to infinity x psi d psi star upon dx and dx. Here first term is 0 because at infinity psi is 0, and this is second term. Since for x equal to plus minus infinity, this is 0. So this term becomes equal to this term. Okay, now this term becomes and converted into two terms. This part can be expanded, but integration equal to 0 because it is normalized wave function and it becomes like that. And by rearranging it, this term plus this term equal to minus r. As the right hand side is imaginary, here we are seeing that right hand side is imaginary. Right hand side is imaginary, therefore it must be equal to imaginary part of left hand side. That is, left hand side imaginary part, you should calculate it. Twice iota imaginary part of integral iota h cross d psi star upon dx x I equal to minus iota h cross. Taking modulus of both sides and then squaring, we get 4 magnitude of imaginary part of integral iota h cross d psi star upon dx x I dx whole square equal to h bar square. But we have magnitude of integral iota h cross d psi star upon dx x I dx greater than or equal to imaginary part of integral iota h cross d psi star upon dx x I dx. Since the magnitude of imaginary part of any complex number can never be greater than the magnitude of the number itself, equation 8 can now be written as 4 in magnitude of integral iota h cross d psi star upon dx x I dx whole square greater than or equal to h bar square. According to Schwarz inequality, we have integral f star phi dx whole square less than or equal to integral f star f dx integral phi star dx. So that the left hand side of equation 9 using f star equal to this and phi equal to this, by taking f star equal to this term and phi equal to xi, can be written as 4, because f star is iota h cross d psi star upon dx and phi is xi, then this inequality, Schwarz inequality, becomes 4 magnitude of integral iota h cross d psi star upon dx xi dx whole square less than or equal to 4 integral iota h bar d psi star upon dx minus iota h cross d psi upon dx integral xi star dx. Therefore, equation 9 itself can be written as 4 integral iota h bar d psi star upon dx minus iota h cross d psi upon dx integral psi star x square psi dx greater than or equal to h bar square. Rearranging it, this term becomes expectation value of p square, and this is expectation value of x square. Okay, so this becomes expectation value of p square, expectation value of x square greater than or equal to h bar upon 4. Okay, since these are the terms we are using for. Now applying the conditions expressed by 5 to equations 1 and 3, we get delta x square equal to expectation value of x square, delta p square equal to the expectation value of p square. If we are taking the condition here, okay, so by using this condition, if expectation value of x and p are 0, then these definitions becomes like that. Okay, and now we easily get the Heisenberg uncertainty relation delta x delta p greater than or equal to h bar upon 2. Applications of uncertainty principle. These are you already studied in your UG class and you are easily understand it. So quickly we go through it. The non-existence of electron in the nucleus. A electron cannot be exist in the nucleus. Physical argument is given by uncertainty principle. Uncertainty in radius, that means position of the electron in the nucleus, is order of 10 raised to minus 14 meter. Okay, so delta x, delta q, delta p, uncertainty in position and uncertainty in momentum equal to h bar, and it becomes, and we are just replacing the constants, so it becomes p approximately equal to this part. Now kinetic energy T equal to p square upon 2m, and replacing the constants, and it comes 97 m. Okay, this is rough approximation. If you are taking here h cross upon 2 exact relation, then this result becomes approximately 20 MeV. This is rough result. Okay, h cross upon 2, then this is okay. And we know that if an electron exists in the nucleus, its energy is approximately 5 to 10 MeV. So it is very much less than, and electron do not exist in the nucleus. The radius of the Bohr's orbit, the radius of the Bohr's first orbit. Radius of the Bohr's first orbit, delta x, delta p, are the uncertainty in determining the position and momentum of the electrons in the first orbit. Then delta q, delta p, h bar. Okay, delta p equal to this. We know kinetic energy T equal to half m square, delta T becomes half m delta v square. Okay, so the term becomes, you just convert it into momentum, m delta v becomes delta p. So this term becomes uncertainty in kinetic energy becomes h bar square upon 2m delta q square. The uncertainty in the potential energy of the same electron is delta V equal to minus Z square upon delta Q. So that the uncertainty in the total energy equal to minus h bar square upon 2m delta Q square minus Z square upon delta Q. The uncertainty in energy will be minimum if first derivative of it is 0. d del E upon d del Q equal to 0 and second derivative is positive for minimum and negative for maximum. So for minimum second derivative is positive and first derivative equal to 0. By using this, integrating this equation of delta E, we can easily compute the value of delta Q, and by replacing the value of delta Q, you can judge that this part is positive. Okay, this is positive. Now replacing this term, what is our expression for radius of the first orbit r equal to delta q equal to h bar square upon mz square equal to h square 4 pi square mz square, which is just the radius of Bohr's first orbit. Light quantum. Let an electromagnetic wave packet be opening a shutter for a time of double delta t. In this way, we obtain a pulse of radiation that passes any specific point in time delta t. The electric field will be large only during time interval delta t. Let us now suppose that the pulse of radiation consists one quantum only. Let this pulse be incident on a target consisting of many atoms. We know that one of the atoms of the target will absorb the quantum, then probability of the absorption will be proportional to E bar square. E being a strength of the electric field. It is therefore clear that the quantum will be absorbed within the time interval delta t, since during this time the electric field is a maximum in the region containing the target. Thus delta t may be regarded as uncertainty in time during which the quantum will be absorbed. But we also know that pulse at radiation contains a range of angular frequency delta omega greater than or equal to 1 upon delta t. So delta E becomes, because E equal to h nu, delta E equal to h delta nu, and it becomes h cross h bar delta omega and h bar upon delta t. So we get delta E delta t greater than or equal to h bar. Thus we see that in any process quantum is transferred from radiation to matter. The product of uncertainties in the time of transfer in the quantity of energy transferred is less than h bar. Minimum energy of a oscillator. Minimum energy of a oscillator. We know that the uncertainty in the position is delta x, and uncertainty principle delta x delta p approximately h bar upon 2. So delta p becomes h bar upon 2 delta x. Then the total energy of the system E equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy, half mv square plus half kx square delta p square upon 2m plus 1/2 1 by 2 k delta x square. This becomes E equal to h bar square upon 8m delta x square plus 1 upon 2 k delta x square. Minimizing this energy with respect to delta x, we get dE upon d delta x equal to 0. And by computing this, delta x becomes under root 1 by 4 h bar square upon 4 pi mk, and by using this expression we can calculate the value of E minimum, and E minimum comes out the same result, half h cross omega, that is the ground state energy of harmonic oscillator. Ground state energy of the harmonic oscillator. Now, last application, Bohr's atomic energy level and uncertainty principle. In this, according to uncertainty principle, delta E delta T approximately h bar. According to Bohr's theory, an electron revolves in a quantized orbit and therefore possesses well-defined energy with no uncertainty. According to Bohr's theory, if electrons revolve, there is no uncertainty in energy, delta E equal to 0. So there is infinite uncertainty in time. This physically means that all energy states of an atom must be infinite lifetime, but experimentally observations show that an excited state of atom has a lifetime of orders 10⁻⁸ seconds. Thus the concept of Bohr's theory violates the uncertainty principle, but uncertainty principle is true for all microscopic and macroscopic particles. This is very important argument. Uncertainty principle is true for all microscopic and macroscopic particles. Normally, misconception in students that it is only for microscopic, but it is well defined or well applicable to microscopic particles also, but the values are very small, so that are not observable. Conclusion: as delta T is finite, delta E must be finite. It means that atomic energy states cannot be in the form of line energy levels, but they have a finite but small width. In other words, the energy states must be in the form of bands. And now the last example, sixth, energy of a particle in one-dimensional box. Consider a particle of mass m in one-dimensional box of length L. The maximum uncertainty in the position of the particle is delta x maximum equal to L. Therefore, from uncertainty principle, delta x delta p approximately h bar and delta p becomes h bar upon delta x. As uncertainty in momentum must be less than momentum itself, therefore minimum momentum of particle p minimum equal to h bar upon L. P minimum equal to h bar upon L. Therefore, kinetic energy of particle T equal to P square upon 2m equal to 1 upon 2m h bar upon L whole square. T equal to h bar square upon 2m whole square. As particle is free in box, because particle is free in the box, the total energy of the particle is entirely kinetic energy equal to h bar upon 2m square. This is the minimum energy of a particle in box, which we derive using the uncertainty principle, and this is the accurate result, or this is the result which we derive by Schrodinger equation. So these examples shows that for numerical values and for mathematical expressions which we derive for different problems are matching with the results which we derive with different physical aspects in different kinds of problems. Okay, thanks to all of you.